Alright, so today's stringing tutorial is going to be on the brand new STX Stallion Omega. Here we have a pretty nice mid pocket with a really nice channel as well. So it's going to be super accurate. It's going to give you a decent amount of whip when you're shooting on the run, that sort of thing. So it's going to be perfect for any LSM or offensive midfielder. And the mesh I use in this video is STX memory mesh. So let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. Alright, so for this tutorial, you're going to need to do a 10 diamond top string. Just like you can see I have here, you can do a 10 diamond top string on the second hole of the head. So once again, 10 diamond top string on the second hole of the head. Okay, so I'm going to be using this yellow string so that way you guys can see clearly. Now for the pattern, we're going to start on the third hole of the head. So it's going to be this large one right here. So put your string through that third hole. We're going to go up and through that first available mesh loop. And we're actually going to double loop this pocket here, or this pattern first. So through that loop, back and through that same sidewall hole, and up through that mesh loop once again. And we're going to do that one more time as well. So there we have our double loop. Okay, so continuing with the pattern, we're going to skip the next sidewall hole and do a knot. So we're going to go into the plastic first, leave a small loop, go up into that next available mesh loop. Once again, leaving that small loop here, we're going to take this string, go from the back and through of this loop. And you can see you're forming a pretzel here to know that it's a knot. You're going to take your slack from up top here and pull it so that it not rest on the top of the bottom rail. Take your fingertips, pinch the sidewall string to the plastic, pull your leading end string straight down, nice and tight, and you should see a knot form on the sidewall or on the bottom rail. We're going to do that 2 more times into the plastic from the outside, leaving a small loop, going up and through the loop and coming through the back and through of that leftover loop, pulling your slack, setting the knot on the bottom rail, pinching it, and then pulling straight down. Nice and tight. And one more time into the plastic from the outside, up into that next available mesh loop, going from the back and through that loop that you left over. Once again, we should have that pretzel. Pull your slack from the inside. Make sure the knot is resting on the top of the bottom rail. Pinch it and pull straight down. And there we have 3 knots. That's going to help to create the channel, as you can see. Now we're going to start creating the actual pocket. Next up, we're going to do a KSI. So down to the top of the next mesh loop, we're going to go into the plastic from the outside, making sure to leave a small loop. Take your leading end string, go from the back and through that loop. We're going to pull our slack from the inside. You're going to set the knot, or you set your sidewall string on top of the plastic for when the knot gets set in place when we pull it tightly. You're going to take your fingertips, pinch it, and then pinching the sidewall string to the plastic so it doesn't move anywhere, and then pull your leading end straight down. And then there we should have a knot, just like up here. Take your leading end string, go up and through that same mesh loop. Take the middle of the mesh, pinch it, pull it up towards the top of the scoop, and then pull your leading end string upwards and then down. And then you should see the knot or the mesh fold up under the knot. Next up, we're going to skip the next sidewall hole and do a 2 KSI. So from the bottom up of the next mesh loop and the bottom up of the following one. Now we're going to do a KSI down to the top of the next mesh loop, We're gonna go into the plastic from the outside, making sure to skip one sidewall hole. Leave a little bit of slack there on the outside. Take your linear string, go up and through or through the back of that loop you left. Now before we set this, what we're gonna do here, pinch the middle of the mesh, pull it up towards the top of the scoop, like how we always do. Pull the string or your slack from the inside. And to make sure that these actually bunch up properly, you backtrack it just a little bit. After you go up and through those first two mesh loops from here, before we do our SI, so before we do our SI, pinch the middle of the mesh, pull it up towards the top of the scoop, and then pull your leading end string straight down so that these knots or these mesh loops rest against the plastic. And then to do the KSI, down through the top, skipping one sidewall hole, leaving a little bit of slack on the outside. And while I'm doing this, I'm holding up the middle of the mesh to keep the pocket formed. Take your leading end string, go from the back and through that loop. And then from here we have our knot. And then pull a slack from the inside here. Rest the knot on the top of the bottom rail, pinch it, and then pull straight down. Then the knot or those mesh loops should bunch nicely against the plastic, and you should have a nice tight knot. To finish out the KSI, once again, just go through the bottom up of that last mesh loop there. And then as we pull that through, make sure you're pulling the mesh up towards the top of the scoop and you're pulling away when you tie down your KSI. So that way it keeps it nice and tight and it helps to form the pocket. All right, after that 2 KSI, we're going to do a regular SI. So down to the top of the next mesh loop, into the plastic from the outside. We're gonna come up and through this little loop that we have there. Pinch the middle of the mesh, pull it up towards the top of the scoop. Pull your leading end string outwards and then up and down, and then up and through the bottom of that same mesh loop. There we have an SI. We're going to skip. Then we're going to skip the next sidewall hole and do another KSI. Making sure to hold the mesh up while we're doing this towards the top of the scoop. Into the plastic from the outside. And then up and through. Just following like the last one. And now we're going to finish out the pocket by doing an interlock. So we're going to go into the plastic from the outside. We're going to leave a small loop there. And then from the inside here, we're going to go up and through that next mesh loop. And then through that loop that we left on the outside. Pinch the middle mesh, once again, pull it towards the top of the scoop. Pull outwards on your leading end string, up and then down. And now to tie off, take your leading end string, go from the back and through, but further to the inside of that interlock. So there it's just crossing over itself. You're gonna come out and through that next sidewall hole. And then tie it off. And this is what it should look like on the inside. So there it just crossed over itself and went back and through that last or that second to last sidewall hole. All right, and after that, you should have a pretty nice looking mid pocket in your STX Stallion Omega. So if you guys enjoyed the video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.